Okay, so it's already 5 minutes past the time. We'll get started, guys. One thing, let me quickly share with you. Our subscription is about to finish. One of them, we have total 3 subscriptions as of now, and one of them is about to finish. So what I have done, because we have sufficient balance, we have adequate balance in remaining 2 subscriptions, and I wanted to avoid the mismatch of date. Hence, what am I doing? From that particular subscription, the one which is expiring, I'm pulling some, in fact, all users and dividing them. I have already shared this in the WhatsApp chat, but I'm just going to explain it to you right away. Let me open the file. Okay, so here it is, guys. Right? Uh, this is the one which is going to expire today. I think it's already done, or maybe you can check till 12 o'clock it will work, not beyond that. So all these users I have divided here. I think I missed someone. Iram is missing. I'll add her. I just got her text. So this one, I've divided all these here. So these are your new user IDs, your passwords. Feel free to log in and check once your password is reset, everything is done. I'm going to delete these passwords from here. So do that quickly. And half of the users are here. Whoever is missing, I'm going to add them. Right? Uh, and we had a session yesterday, just question and answer session. There I showed that how did I create all multiple users, multiple user groups, and assign them as owner using script. That script I have shared here. I'm doing this quickly because this is not a part of our portion and this has nothing to do with our classes, extra things. Hence, I'm waiting for others to join. Hence, I'm showing that script is here. If anyone wants to try, give it a try. If you fail, let me know. But again, this is not a part of neither A0, AZ104 nor 305. It is something extra. Just because I use it while creating, so I thought I'll share it with you guys. And I have made it very easy. I have add the comments, etc., for you guys so you can understand what needs to be typed in where. So try it once if you want, otherwise that's okay. No one is going to ask you in your interview that what is the command or what is the script to create multiple resource groups and assign them their owners. No one is going to ask. Still, out of curiosity, if you guys want to know, try this. Otherwise, it's not a part of our portion. Okay. Apart from that, today's topic we are going to start is Azure Network Security Group. Before that, one topic I wanted to just give a rectification, or I can say I did explain it properly. However, the painting which I was showing, that was incorrect, and this is about Bastion. So few people had question yesterday, and then I realized the painting which I was showing in last session, there I made a mistake, sort of thing. You can say it is a mistake uh, in painting. So it created the confusion. So I'm gonna quickly explain it to you again. Just wanted to get this in recording. Yesterday we discussed this, but in Q&A sessions we do not record. I do not upload them on YouTube. So you may miss it. People who did not attend that, they may miss it. So I'm repeating it here. So let's say this is my virtual network. Under virtual network, I have subnets. This is I'm talking about Azure Bastion. Yes. Okay, this is subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. And here I have my virtual machines. So the traditional way it's to take remote. The one which we are doing, it's taking remote using public IP. You will never see public IP on any virtual machine in live environment. When you go to production environment, you will never ever see a public IP unless that is a requirement of application and website is being uh, run on that server. That time also the public IP which is there on that server, you do not use it for RDP. That is only for the website. RDP and all the management etc. tasks, they will always go via private IP. Okay? So you never use public IP. So it's either via private IP, and the other another method to take remote or to connect to your computer, it's Azure Bastion. So what is Azure Bastion? Azure Bastion you can deploy at the VNet level. Now, it's not a machine, it is just a component. Okay, you see a login page. I have already shown it. It is there in the recording in last session. How it looks, the login page. It will ask for user ID and password. Right? So Azure Bastion that gets deployed on one of the subnets in this VNet. But that is a special subnet. We cannot have Azure Bastion on subnet 1, subnet 2, or subnet 3. We definitely required a dedicated Bastion subnet. And what is the name of that subnet? Can someone tell me?
Azure Bastion Subnet.
Perfect. And just don't go by the diagram. It's not necessary that you should have Azure Bastion subnet at the top or at the end. It can be anywhere. It doesn't matter. It is just the diagram looks like this, because yesterday I heard this question also. So do not worry about it. It can be anywhere. It can be at the bottom. Maybe you can have subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3, and then you can create Azure Bastion subnet. Let's say you already have these subnets, these servers, and later on you thought that I do not want RDP anymore. I want to go with Bastion. So you can have Bastion later also. You can decide and have Bastion at the beginning itself. You can have it anywhere, wherever you want. In terms of order, it can be after subnet 1, after subnet 2, it can be before that, it can be at the end, anywhere. It doesn't matter. Functionality, it's not changing at all because of that. Okay. So Azure Bastion subnet is required to have the Azure Bastion. Once you have the Azure Bastion subnet, you will have your Azure Bastion here. Let's say this is your Azure Bastion. This is not a machine, this is nothing. It is just a component. You can't even see it, but it is there, right? Azure Bastion. This is Azure Bastion, let's say. Now, using Azure Bastion, what you can do, you can directly take remote of these machines from Azure Bastion. You go to Azure Bastion, just recall that login page, and from that login page, you can directly connect to this machine, or this machine, or this machine, or this machine, or any machine for that matter. Because why? Because all subnets, they talk to each other, right? I hope you guys remember this, that all these subnets can talk to each other by default. So if Bastion is here, using Bastion, you can directly communicate with these computers. But there's a limitation in Bastion. When you go to Bastion, if you have a basic Bastion, Bastion will support only uh, 2 machines at a time. And if you take the standard Bastion, it will support 50 machines at a time. I mean, those are the machines you can take remote to. Plus, when you take remote from Bastion, when you connect to a machine using Bastion, it is there in the browser. It is not very user friendly. बहुत उतने अच्छे से काम नहीं करता है वो. Right? So and plus security का भी थोड़ा सा ये होता ही है that Bastion if the what if Bastion is compromised, then what? तो directly Bastion पे कोई नहीं रखता है. Look at this. If you go for Bastion, maximum machine instant count you can connect it's 2, not more than 2. I do not have any option to increase it. And if I go with standard, the charges are different. Standard, you pay a lot of money for standard. See, 50. Okay. So basic to standard 50. You can remember this. This can come as an interview question. But you can directly connect. However, this is a functionality that you can directly connect. That does not mean you will ever see this kind of arrangement in any of the company where you are connecting directly. So let's not learn that. How it works, I'll tell you. Though we are not going to we're not going to do the practical for this, but I'll tell you how it works. So what they do is, once I have my all subnets in place, I have all my machines and everything, it's fine. I will deploy the Bastion, and somehow I will do the settings that we haven't learned yet, that from Bastion only one subnet should be reachable. Only one subnet. No other subnet should be reachable from Bastion. And that is very easy. I'll show it to you. The settings, I'll show it to you. It's very easy. And again, it's not necessary that it has to be in same order. Maybe that subnet can be here. It doesn't matter. Okay, so don't go by the diagram. It doesn't matter where it is. Let's say now I am calling it a subnet as jump server. Jump server subnet. Though it has nothing to do with the naming convention like we have for Azure Bastion subnet. This is nothing. This is just for your understanding. And here I'm gonna have some machine, maybe 5 or 50 or 10, whatever my requirement is, or whatever the bandwidth I have. And what will I plan that from Bastion only these machines should be accessible. So person or anyone will come to Bastion. From Bastion they can connect any of these machine for whichever they have user ID and password. And from these machine, then they can RDP to any machine they want as far as they have user ID and password. What happened last session, I showed a machine here in Azure Bastion subnet. Though I explained it, I watched my recording, I explained it properly, but I showed the diagram. I showed a machine here under Azure Bastion, and that confused people that should we have a machine on Azure Bastion subnet and will that be a jump server? No. Azure Bastion subnet will have only Azure Bastion, nothing else. From Bastion, you will connect to one of the servers that you can call as jump server or whatever you want. Or you can directly connect to these machines also. If you do not want this setup, you from Bastion, you can directly connect to these machines. Let's say you can connect to this machine and take RDP of other machines. Or let's say you don't want to take RDP, just wanted to log in and check whether machine is up or not. You can simply log in and that's it. You can do this. But this is how you will see in actual environment that there will be a Bastion, there will be a subnet for jump server, and from Bastion you will be able to connect to only these servers, and from here you are free to take RDP to whichever machine you want as far as you have your operating system connectivity. Is this clear to all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so last time the diagram which I shared, there I had a machine shown in this subnet. Technically it is not possible. If you want to go ahead and try, create a VNet, create a subnet, create a Azure Bastion subnet, try creating a virtual machine and try selecting Azure Bastion subnet. Azure Bastion subnet is not available to create any resource. Azure Bastion subnet will have only subnet, only Bastion, nothing else. So I hope this is clear. Let's see if how many have joined. Okay, I still see less quorum. Only 12 people have joined. People who are requesting to change time, they have also not joined. Fine. So today we are learning NSG, Network Security Group. Azure Network Security Group. But before we do that, you should understand few concepts of NIC. Subnet you already know, because when we talk about NSG, NIC will come to picture and subnet will come to picture. So NIC, it's nothing, it's Network Interface Card. That is your NIC. And what is it? It is a component. It is a component of your machine. It could be laptop or PC, anything. So NIC is, let me open one Google image for you. How it looks, I'm just gonna, though this has nothing to do with Azure, the part which we are discussing now. Azure, NSG is a part of Azure. This has nothing to do with Azure. Okay, so this is your NIC. Sometimes people call it a NIC card, but the NIC itself has the card abbreviation in that. So it's Network Interface Card, NIC. Here it is. This is how it looks. This is in your laptop. This is in laptop. This one is in PC. But this is your NIC. This is the hardware. So when we say that assign an IP to a machine, on which component of the machine holds that IP? Do we assign an IP to hard disk? Do we assign an IP over RAM? Do we assign an IP on motherboard? Do we assign an IP on a processor? No. Where do we assign IP? We assign IP
On Nick.
on NIC. This is what it is. And let me show you the software, how it looks like. So this is the hardware. This is there in your laptop. This is there in your PC. And I'm not going to show you how it looks. Because you have been assigning IP and etc. from your Azure portal. So you don't even know what is happening at the machine level. Right? So this is how it looks. This is NIC. These all are NIC actually. I have multiple NICs on my laptop. So you are looking at this. Here you can assign the IP. In Azure, what is it? Obtain an IP address automatically. Then it obtains from the portal. And normally this is how you will see. You never go ahead and actually assign the IP on OS level, but you should know the background mein kya ho raha hai. So this is how it works. This is NIC. This is where you assign your IP. This is your default gateway. This is your DNS settings, everything. You do it here. Now, let me show you three things here on NIC while we are on NIC. On NIC, you can have multiple IP addresses also. One NIC can have multiple IP addresses. Understand this, guys. One server, one machine can have multiple. And here I'm not talking about public and private. I've told you very clearly, guys, on day one that we are not discussing public IP at all. Public IP, it is just to take remote. That's it. Forget public IP. Now, whenever I'm saying IP, I'm definitely talking about private IPs. If I want to talk about public IP, I will specifically mention that. Other than that, wherever I say IP, I mean private IP. So a machine can have multiple IP addresses. My machine can have multiple IP addresses, or any machine for that matter. Any machine can have multiple IP addresses on single NIC itself. I'm not talking about the multiple NIC. On single NIC, I can have multiple IP addresses, and I can have multiple NIC, multiple IP addresses on one machine. Why do we need that, etc.? Don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. I may need it for anything. I may need it for internal connectivity, one for the backup, one for uh, white network, one for security. It could be anything, but you can have multiple. Look at this. This one is disconnected. Now, if I connect all these, I will have multiple IP addresses. And so one machine can have multiple IP addresses. Remember that thing. One machine can have multiple NIC also. Correct? Till here, is it? Did you guys get it? One machine can have, and you will see literally physical machines also can have multiple NIC. It's not only virtual machine. By the way, I hope you understand when we say virtual machine will have the replica of everything. So you, even your virtual machine will have a NIC to it. This is a physical NIC. This will be attached to your PC. This is a physical NIC. This will be attached to your laptop. And when we talk about virtual machines, virtual machine will also have a NIC, a virtual NIC, but it will have. Similarly, जैसे हम लोग we are using hardware from somewhere, like there is a storage of 400 TB, and out of those 400 TB, we are taking just few of the few of the GB, few data for my virtual machine. There are multiple RAM, and we are just taking 5 GB RAM depending on the size, whichever machine we are taking. And similarly, we are using a virtual network card. So your machines will also have virtual network card. Is it correct, guys? Are you getting it? Any confusion till
So,
here?
sir,
Hmm?
yeah, I have a question actually. The Nick, the image which you're showing, is that the one where we plugged our LAN cable,
Yes,
or
yes, yes. Here it
this is
is.
one, right? Okay,
It
this is
could
a
be
Nick.
it
Okay.
could be LAN cable. It could be the oldest one where we used to get this cable. I'm not sure if you guys have used it or not. Even I have not used it, but I'm aware of it. इस तरह से भी इंटरनेट
Uh,
कनेक्टिविटी होती थी पहले. Or it could be wireless also. It's not
how
necessary.
wireless?
It's not necessary that you plug in the any cable. The
Okay.
component which allows you to get the IP address, that is your NIC. It could be a wired NIC. It could be
Okay.
a wireless NIC. It could be a USB NIC. It could be an external NIC, internal NIC, anything. We don't have to worry about it. This is extremely OS level details. But what we need to understand is what is NIC. Is it clear? Anyone else has any doubt?
Yes. Thank you.
What about others, guys? Because if you don't understand NIC, it will be difficult for you to understand NSG. NIC has nothing to do with Azure. You can take this from me, take this as a guarantee that no one is going to ask you a single question on NIC itself. They may ask a question associated with NIC with regard to NSG, but NIC has nothing to do. Very old concept. Nowadays, if you purchase any, if anyone has purchased a laptop, now you won't even see the NIC. Network interface cards are they are old story. They are gone now. You will see USB type, and you can connect the internet using USB. You can connect internet wirelessly. So no, you won't even see NIC as of now. These NIC. But somewhere inbuilt NIC is there. इस तरह से कुछ inbuilt होगा जहाँ पे आपका IP address assign होता है. Okay, so just because you do not have this, you do not see in laptop, that does not mean there is no NIC in it. Got it, guys?
Yes, we actually use this wired NIC in our offices.
Like you have sim slots you used to have. Nowadays, new iPhones, new phone, Note, Samsung, etc. They're coming up with eSIM. That does not mean the functionality has been vanished. It just the port has been removed. So you may see some computers nowadays where you will not see any NIC, but that does not mean internal NIC is not there. So when it comes to our virtual machine पे हमको वैसे भी नहीं दिखने वाला virtual machine as it is we have virtual NIC. Okay, so if I open my Azure portal and show it to you, what am I talking about? Where your IPs are being assigned, and with this we are going to learn how to change IPs also. If I go to my virtual machine, any of my virtual machine, if I go to networking, I'll see everything under networking tab. As of now, we're discussing networking. So you're going to see everything under networking tab. So if I go to network setting, do you guys see it? Yes, guys, do you see NIC or you don't see? If can someone guide me, where is the NIC? What is written on it?
Network interface.
The name of the NIC, what is the name I have given?
DC001
Yes.
UT-Kloud India 13.
Correct. So this is the NIC, guys. Look at this. The image is also there. It says network interface card. By the way, this name, I do not have any authority over it. I cannot change it. Azure itself decides it, what name to be given. Somehow it matches with the machine name, but you cannot change it unless you are deploying a machine using PowerShell. When you deploy a machine using PowerShell script, that time you have feasibility to change this name. But when you do it using portal, ये नाम अपने आप ले लेता है. Whatever name you give to machine, similarly उस तरह से कोई नाम ये ले लेगा. But this is the NIC. This is what we were talking about. Now I can detach a NIC. Yes, I can do that. Without NIC, a machine will work. Yes, definitely it will work, but it won't have any connectivity. If I have a machine where I just want to run it for no reason, I don't want to connect to that machine, then yes, fine, I can have a NIC. I can remove the NIC. Can I attach multiple NIC to a machine? Yes, I can attach multiple NIC. Look at this. Attach network interface card. Do I have already one existing which is not attached anywhere and I want to attach it? No, there is no. So I can create one and attach one. I can create one NIC and I can attach that NIC to the machine, and then my machine will have multiple IP addresses. Understood, guys? NIC, how to attach, how to detach. From here you can detach the NIC. From here you can attach a NIC. What is NIC? On NIC you will have your IP addresses. So now if I click on this NIC, here the details are given here. This is the NIC we are talking about. This is a part of this virtual network. This is a part of this subnet. This NIC has a public IP, this one. This NIC has a private IP, this one. Clear to everyone? What is NIC?
Yes.
What we are going to learn is network security group. This is what we are going to learn. But still we have some time. I want you to think about it. Ask me if you guys have any questions till here. Many topics are yet to be covered, like how to change IP address. I'm going to show it to you. Till here, do you have any doubt? What is NIC? Where do we apply it? Why do we use it? Can we have multiple? Can a NIC have multiple IP addresses? Do you have questions on this one? I'll take that as a no. Are you guys getting it, all of you? Ganesh, is
Yes,
it
well,
clear? Aksa, Ashar, Harun,
Yes,
Mustaqim, is it clear?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Thank you.
Samir,
yes, well.
Yes, get it.
Shweta,
Sir, I'm
Stuti,
so sorry
Shoaib.
for the interruption. I think there's a confusion
Hmm.
about our class, I mean, session. You have mentioned 14th October, 2 o'clock. That could be a reason people are not
Oh, did I
joining.
mention 2 o'clock?
Yes, sir, it's 2 o'clock. That's what I
Yes.
just saw a message on a group actually. 14th October, 2 p.m.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
the
1 p.m.
meeting time, but we are joining at 1. No problem. But I think it was decided That could be the issue. Yes.
Yes.
Let me see. Good. That is just the regular meeting because I have decided we regularly do it at 2. So that is the Zoom timing. Fine. I've put a message. Let's see how many are joining. So is it clear till here, guys?
Sohail, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
What is the use case scenario that we will get
Oh,
regarding
I'll
this
explain. Don't worry. बहुत ज़्यादा use के scenario आने वाले हैं. Don't worry about it. Nick से you won't get anything. ये अब तक जितना explain किया है, you are not getting anything. This is just to clear your basics. Azure में क्या आने वाले हैं? What all do we do? What kind of request do you get? I'm gonna explain that now.
Okay, fine.
So any other questions, guys? We have 8 minutes left. So I don't want to start with NSG or network card settings here or at Azure level, because as Ganesh rightly said, maybe there's some confusion. People did not join. So in next session, we'll start on Azure portal, and I'll put message that we are starting now, so people will join. And this one they can watch recording. And as it is, this is out of portion. So my question again: do you guys have any doubts on Nick? How do we use Nick? Not talking about Azure. That why do we use Nick? होता क्या है exactly? How do we utilize it? उस पे multiple IP लग सकते हैं? Can we detach Nick? Can we have multiple Nick? Are these questions clear to you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Wilbur.
Okay. So let me close this session, guys. We have only 6 minutes left. I'm going to close this session. I will share the link again, same link, but I'm going to share it again, or I'll just put a message that we are starting with the second session and I'm expecting people to join. And from there, we are going to start. First thing we'll see how to customize this Nick. Customize as in how to change IP address, how to change basic details on Azure portal. That I do not want to cover in this one because maybe people are missing. So in next session, I will start with this. Once this is done, then I will start explaining network security group and the questions which you might get, theory part, and then we'll do the practical in third session. Okay, and understand one thing, guys. NSG, irrespective of your understanding, you understand it or not, there are certain questions which will be for sure asked, and I already have those questions with me. I'm going to share it with you. Please make sure you go through those questions thoroughly. Interviewer will not give you one portal and ask you to deploy an NSG for you or read something for you. No, that is not happening. Interviewer is going to simply ask you questions like, I will cover this again in next session, but as we have time, basic questions. What are the default rules on NSG? So these are the 6 rules. I don't care. I don't mind if you understand it or not. To clear your interview, just remember it. Though we are going to explain it in detail, and I have hope that you will understand it properly, but make sure that you remember it properly. You have to talk about these 6 rules. That's all. He is not going to cross check whether you understand them or not. Next thing, what is the range or the priority number? 100 to 4096. Whether you understand it or not is a second thing. You should remember these numbers. Default rules, 3 inbound, 3 outbound. You should remember these numbers. Okay? You should remember these numbers and few things here and there. 5 tuple hash. What are those? We are not even going to spend more time on this, but you should remember what are the 5. And if you don't even understand what is a tuple hash, it's okay. But what you should remember is what are those 5 tuple: port, protocol, source, destination, and action. That's it. You just have to remember these jargons and your NSG question part will be clear. आपकी understanding है नहीं है वो, when you go to your job, that time you will get n number of help, n number of resources. You can reach out to me, you can Google, you can YouTube, you will have your seniors to help you, you will have script, you will have resources and time and everything, and I'm sure you guys will be able to manage. But in your interview, you have to speak, so make sure you remember all these things. I'm going to take that in proper or in proper manner, step by step. We are going to do that, but in next session. So I'm stopping this session now. I will put a message and we'll join in 5 minutes. Let me give some time to everyone. It's 13:35 now. We will resume at 13:40. In 5 minutes break we will take, and I'll put a message for everyone and let them join. And then we'll start with this one. We'll start with Nick. We'll start with Nick from here. How to set up a Nick on Azure, how to configure a Nick, what all do we see in Nick? We are going to cover that in next session. So we haven't started anything of AZ104, anything in Azure yet. Whatever I've explained it to you by now, it's just to clear your basic. Anyone who's coming from networking background, I'm sure it was a repetition for you. You already know that. Anyone who doesn't have experience or anyone who doesn't know anything about it, uh, I hope this added some value. People who missed the session, I will ask them to watch this recording. As it is, it doesn't have anything from our portion, but it is very important. So let me stop the session, guys, and see you in at 13:40. I will be putting a message that we are starting now.